by saying congratulations on the brand new single. Our listeners are about to hear Sing Like Hell for the first time, so I was wondering if you could start off by telling us a little bit about this track and how it came into being.
Right. Well, I guess I was just trying to get back in the game, I suppose. Like, I was doing music from when I was much younger, and I guess life just kind of got in the way for a long time. And this one is just kind of about, I guess, coming to terms with, the idea of sort of never really making it as a musician, but just making it part of your life and being okay with that,
You mentioned that...
I guess that's the way to look at it.
You mentioned that you'd stopped doing music for a while. What was that spark to get back started and starting to do music again?
I had kids.
Yeah.
So I sort of went full circle, and I just wanted to, I don't know, it's sort of like I really want to be able to show them that you can lead the life that you kind of want to, and for them to kind of have something to look back on and say, oh, Dad was pretty cool at one point. And that's kind of about it, It was just a kind of trigger for me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just a matter of jumping back into it.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't want to be too pedantic. Like back in the day, I took it all pretty seriously, and now it's kind of like, you know what, I can just release these songs as time goes on, and just sort of, I don't know, just sort of jump into it far less cautiously.
And I guess these days it's a lot easier to do music at home as well. In the old days, you used to have to go into a studio to record and things like that, whereas these days, I know a bunch of guys who have got kids and they put their kids to bed of a night time and then they head into their music room and work on their music. Is that something that's made it easier for you now as well?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm one of those guys that's got the home studio set up and probably sunk too many dollars into it that I'd like to, and it makes life a lot easier because, I mean, even just to do things like a demo day was studio time back, not even, 10 years ago.
Yeah. So, tell us a little bit about what else inspires you to write music. This one is so heartfelt that I know a lot of people out there are going to listen to it and feel the same way, but what else inspires you to write music? Is it the world around you, things that you come across every day? What is it?
Yeah, I guess it is. Like, the world around you is pretty much the prime source of inspiration for anyone, I'd say.
Yeah.
You look out and you draw in what you can from the world and your experience. What gets me going, though, is just, I don't know, I guess I'm trying to tell an honest story to myself for sort of once. I'm not chasing any ideals. I'm not chasing like a scene or like a sort of a certain sound that is happening right now or anything like that. I'm just trying to get back to sort of bread and butter what I started with, which is just myself and building a band, I guess, around me, which I can do by myself now, which I couldn't do, again, 20 years ago. It was, you had to have a band and studio time and all the rest of that. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Now, you mentioned about certain sounds and stuff like that with music. You seem to have so many mixes of genres there in even this track alone. Tell us a little bit about how your music has evolved sound-wise over the years.
All right, so I was first off a metal kid, so I was in the bedroom learning Metallica songs and Megadeth and all that. And that was, we're talking not 30 years ago, something like that though. And I sort of transgressed into sort of punk rock, pop punk stuff through my early 20s. And I did some time in the USA in a band called The Mile After for a good couple of years over there. And sort of came back and had another one that's just still punk poppy stuff called Paper Wolves, and that was Australia based. And then I don't know, dabbled a little bit in electronic stuff as well. I've always had like sort of pop, big choruses has been the sort of focal point of a lot of my work. I'm just okay at finding a chorus that kind of sits and sticks all right. So I don't know, no matter what I'm doing, I sort of just go from that first. I'll have a chorus idea and I'll write a melody for it, and I know lyrics and everything else come kind of second, but it's sort of, I just sort of find that, if I've got a good solid foundation of a chorus, things just sort of build around that. I can never write a middle section, I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah.
The middle sections of songs, they're always the last thing to come, and I cannot get them right ever. But that's part of the thing now, not being so pedantic and just saying, yeah, no, this is sweet, this is good.
Yeah.
Does it make a point? Yes. Does it get it across? Yes, that's fine.
Talking of lyrics, like I said, this is a track that I feel a lot of people are going to relate to. Are you prepared for people to reach out and say, hey, you nailed exactly how I'm feeling?
I am, because I'm not the only kind of like, well, it doesn't even really count just the musicianship. It counts for anyone that's had something that they wanted to achieve in life that, you know, they might have fallen short or not quite crossed the finish line for. There's plenty of people like that in the world. That's just the climate we live in. So I do. I think that hopefully it's the kind of song that resonates with a lot of people. You know, I wrote it because it resonated with me, and hopefully that translates.
Definitely. Now, with this new track out, Sing Like Hell, where to now? Are you going to look at doing an EP, release more singles, work on an album? What are the plans from now on?
Yeah, so right now the plan is to stick to releasing singles. It's just the easiest and sort of most effective way that I can do it time-wise with these two kids running around. So I've got another one slated in called Balconies, which is coming out pretty soon. I'm not even sure the date, but soon, rest assured. And there's another 4 or 5. Like, honestly, there's an album's worth of material that I can sort of just like leak out over time now. And that's what I'll do for now until hopefully, because at the moment, like, you know, if you have a look at any of my socials, I've got like, you know, 20 people here, 20 people there. It's all completely new as far as that sort of goes. I'm slowly building, and if we get to a point ever where it gets, you know, enough traction that I can release an album, make a bit of a dent, I'll do it, you know. But slowly goes the buffalo at this point.
Yeah. Will you look to get out and do some shows over summer as well, or for now will you solely be just an artist that's releasing music but with no shows?
Nah, look, I would love to do some shows. I just have to find myself, like, you know, at this point I'm not in the capacity to be a touring act. I'd like to be, but there's kids to raise. And I might put on a kind of like low-key, smaller show here in Newcastle or on the Central Coast, which is sort of my hometown. If I get the opportunity to do it, I will. But yeah, at this point, I don't have any major plans.
Awesome. Well, mate, we are going to play Sing Like Hell right now on our show for the first time. So what would you like to say to all of our listeners out there before they take a listen to this stunning track?
All right, guys. Well, thanks for listening first and foremost. I hope the song touches you in some way, and I mean that as creepy as possible. And thanks. Thanks very much for having me.